collection or bundle of light rays is known as beam of light. Bundle of light rays is known as beam of light, right? Beam of light. The collection or bundle of light rays is known as beam of light. Here we have all the light rays are parallel to each other. So this is parallel beam of light. This is parallel beam of light. Like this, we have two more types of beam of light. From the source, suppose we see the stars in the sky during night time, right? And the stars appears that they are point-like objects. It is appearing like a point. But actually the star is very bigger in size, even it may be bigger than the sun also. From that star, the light is emitted and it travels in the space in all the direction. From the single point, the light is traveling in all the direction. The light ray is traveling in all the direction. Now this is also a beam of light. And in this beam of light, here we take, this is the point from which the light rays are emitted and it is traveling in different direction in the space. So this beam of light is known as diverging beam of light. From a single point, if all the light rays are traveling in all the direction, that is diverging beam of light, right? Parallel beam of light, all light rays are parallel to each other. From the single point, if they are traveling in all the direction, they are diverging beam of light. From different direction, all the light rays are coming to a single point, coming and meeting at a single point, that we call converging beam of light. So we have three types of beam of light: parallel beam of light, diverging beam of light, and a converging beam of light. Why should we discuss about this beam of light? Because the single path of light is very small, and that is also imaginable. To study the light, always we take the beam of light. Even for example, if you use the laser light, from the laser light we are getting the light that is traveling as a beam of light. So always we treat the light as a beam. Parallel beam of light, diverging beam of light, and converging beam of light. Whenever we discuss the light, that is taken the light as a ray or beam of light. Okay, so whenever a source is emitting the light in a particular direction, it always travels along straight line. Suppose this is the source. This is the source. It is emitting the light in all the direction, and it is also traveling in this particular direction. While it is traveling in the particular direction, on its path, if some object, some surface is placed, suppose a surface is placed, then it strike, the light strike the surface. After striking the surface, three phenomena takes place. Means part of the light may be absorbed by the surface, part of the light may be transmitted through the surface, part of the light may be reflected, sent back into the same side, that we call reflection. Here if that the surfaces, that objects, in practically we use that the absorption of light by any surface is very small, and the absorption is negligible. After neglecting this absorbing phenomena, we have two things, that the part of light may be transmitted and remaining light will be reflected. So whatever be the total amount of light is coming and strike the surface, partly transmitted and remaining is reflected. Right? Okay. Total amount of energy, it is given by the source of light. Suppose if the surface is completely transparent, completely transparent, complete, perfect transparent. No dust particle, no layer is formed on its surface. It is perfect transparent. If the surface is perfect transparent, then what will happen? That completely all the light transmitted through the surface, that means there is no reflection takes place. No reflection takes place. Right? So that means if the surface is transparent, total amount of light is transmitted through the surface, passed through the surface. So no reflection takes place. If the surface is completely opaque, if it is opaque, opaque means light cannot pass through it. If it is completely opaque, then transmission will not occur, then completely the reflection takes place, right? So transparent surface, the light will be transmitted, and if the surface is opaque, light gets reflected. After the reflection of light, what will happen? If the light is get reflected, if the surface is opaque, then what happens to that? What happens at that moment, at that particular place? One thing is, the darker portion of this object is formed behind the surface. The darker portion is formed. That darker portion of the object is known as shadow. It is known as shadow. After the reflection of light, the darker portion formed behind the object is known as shadow. Then after the reflection of light, what happens to the reflected light? The reflected light, number of, here we are assuming only one light ray. Number of light rays are coming. After reflection, what happens? That all reflected light rays may meet at a single point. May. I am saying may. Meet at a single point and form the image. Right? So that means due to the reflection of light, shadow is formed and the image may also form. Right? Image is also formed. Okay. Here one thing. This reflected light, it is traveling in the same side. From this phenomenon, we can define the reflection. What is reflection? Reflection is the phenomenon of sending back of light. Phenomenon of sending back of light into the same side by any surface is known as reflection. After reflection, the shadow is formed and image also formed. Right? Image also formed. But all surfaces are not able to form the image, because from reflection, due to reflection, we are seeing the image from certain surfaces only, not from all the surfaces. For example, from the mirror, we are getting image, we are seeing ourselves. If we put something in front of the mirror, we are seeing its image. So from the mirror we are getting image. From the undisturbed water surface, also the image is formed. And from the new utensils, if the utensils are very, very fresh, they are not used even a single time, then from that utensil also we can see ourselves. If you keep the new utensil in front of you, you can see your face completely, clearly. So in these surfaces, and these are some examples, in these surfaces also we are able to see the images, and that image is formed due to reflection. But other surfaces, for example the wall, the table, the board, and many of the surfaces, from that surfaces also reflection takes place. Suppose if we say this is the table surface or this is the floor, ground. From the ground also the light is reflecting. But we are not able to see ourselves. The image is not formed by this. So that means all the surfaces are reflecting the light. But few surfaces are forming the image due to the reflection. So that means there some conditions must be satisfied to form the image. That conditions are, to form the image, the surfaces must be highly polished and a smooth surface to form the image. To form the image surface must be, the surface should have the nature of that a highly polished and a smooth surface. It must be smooth also. That means no roughness